If you're in your senior year, stop doing these 7 things right now. A profound welcome to a conversation that could fundamentally reshape the trajectory of your remaining years. This isn't merely a discussion about health, it's an urgent call to action, a revelation of insights gathered from over 2 decades of dedicated practice in geriatric medicine and cutting-edge longevity research. As Dr. Scott Anderson, I've had the privilege, and sometimes the heartache, of sitting across from thousands of individuals in their 60s, 70s, and 80s. Through these countless encounters, a recurring pattern has emerged, a series of common, often unrecognized mistakes that are silently, insidiously eroding their vitality, their sharpness of mind, their cherished independence, and ultimately, their capacity for joy. The most tragic element in this unfolding narrative is the almost universal ignorance. Very few of these individuals were ever informed that their seemingly harmless daily routines harbored such detrimental consequences. Today, this changes. We are here to illuminate these hidden pitfalls and empower you with knowledge. It is absolutely crucial that you grasp the gravity and potential of what I am about to share. Consider the revelations of a landmark study meticulously published by the esteemed National Institute on Aging. This extensive research followed more than 12,000 adults, ranging in age from 60 to 85, over an impressive span of 10 years. The findings that emerged from this longitudinal study were nothing short of staggering, truly recontextualizing our understanding of aging. Participants who made the conscious decision to eliminate just 3 very specific daily habits experienced a remarkable 61% reduction in the likelihood of encountering significant physical decline. Furthermore, they were 47% less prone to developing cognitive impairment. And perhaps most tellingly, their self-reported quality of life scores were nearly double those of their peers who continued with these habits. Double. What makes these statistics even more inspiring is the fact that a significant number of these transformative changes were initiated after the age of 70. This unequivocally demonstrates that the concept of too late simply does not apply when it comes to reclaiming your health and vibrancy. Before we delve into the comprehensive list, I want to capture your attention with a crucial teaser. The single most impactful item on today's list is a routine activity that nearly every senior engages in, often every single morning, without a second thought. It is so deeply ingrained in our societal fabric and personal habits that most medical professionals have never even considered advising their patients to cease it. Its ubiquity is precisely what makes its impact so insidious and its revelation so potentially shocking. Therefore, I implore you to remain engaged until the very end, as the truth behind number 1 might genuinely astonish you and offer an immediate pathway to profound improvement. But first, on a more personal note, I invite you to share your age in the comments below. Additionally, what is one health habit you have adopted or maintained in your senior years that you are most proud of? I personally read every single comment on this channel, drawing inspiration from your experiences and insights, which frequently shape the topics we explore and foster a rich, supportive community. Take a moment, connect with us, and let's collectively build this foundation of shared wisdom. Now, let's navigate through these vital adjustments, counting down from 7 to 1, each progressively more critical, culminating in habits that are truly life-changing. The 7th critical habit, consuming 3 large meals a day. At first glance, this recommendation might seem entirely benign, perhaps even foundational to a healthy lifestyle: breakfast, lunch, and dinner. It's the eating pattern instilled in us from childhood, perpetually echoed in conventional nutrition pamphlets, and a habit that most of us have maintained throughout our entire lives. However, what these traditional guidelines often fail to account for are the profound physiological transformations that occur within the human body after the age of 65. With advancing age, your digestive system undergoes a significant and often overlooked slowdown. The production of gastric acid, essential for breaking down food, can diminish by nearly 40%. Concurrently, the output of crucial digestive enzymes decreases, and your gut's overall capacity to efficiently absorb vital nutrients from substantial volumes of food is considerably reduced. Consequently, when you sit down to that large dinner plate, your body is simply no longer equipped to process process it with the same efficiency and vigor it did in your 40s. It's akin to trying to run a smaller, older engine on the same volume of fuel it used when it was brand new and larger. It simply cannot handle the load efficiently. Seminal research from the University of Southern California's Longevity Institute has shed significant light on this phenomenon. Their published findings demonstrated that seniors who consciously transitioned from 3 large meals to a pattern of 4 to 5 smaller, more nutrient-dense meals, judiciously spaced throughout the day, experienced remarkable improvements. Within a mere 12 weeks, participants exhibited a 34% enhancement in protein synthesis, a critical process for maintaining muscle mass, and an impressive 28% reduction in systemic inflammatory markers. This illustrates a key principle. Your digestive system after 70 operates more like a finely tuned, albeit smaller, engine. It doesn't necessarily require less fuel overall, but it absolutely demands that this fuel be delivered in smaller, more frequent increments, allowing it to be burned and processed with maximum efficiency rather than overwhelming it. I recall the case of Margaret, a 74-year-old patient from Tucson, Arizona. She presented to me utterly exhausted, chronically bloated after nearly every meal, and profoundly convinced that some grave underlying illness was afflicting her. Upon reviewing her dietary habits, it became clear she was consuming a minimal breakfast, followed by an overwhelmingly enormous dinner, a pattern that is, in fact, one of the most detrimental for an aging metabolism. We collaboratively restructured her eating regimen, shifting to 5 smaller, carefully balanced meals each day, deliberately rich in high-quality protein and healthy fats. Within a mere 2 months, her energy levels underwent a dramatic transformation. She joyfully reported feeling as though she had regained a decade of her life, experiencing a resurgence of vitality she hadn't known in years. The practical implication here is straightforward yet powerful. Endeavor to eat every 3 to 4 hours. Each of these smaller meals should ideally contain at least 25 to 30 grams of protein. This is especially vital because after 70, your body requires a greater amount of protein per pound of body weight than it did in your 30s. This is due to a phenomenon called anabolic resistance, meaning your muscles become less efficient at responding to protein signals for growth and repair. Therefore, you must provide them with more raw material to stimulate the necessary muscle maintenance. Complement each meal with a modest amount of healthy fat, such as a drizzle of olive oil or a slice of avocado. These fats are crucial as they significantly enhance the absorption of fat-soluble vitamins like A, D, E, K, which are indispensable for maintaining robust bone health, supporting a resilient immune system, and numerous other vital bodily functions. The 6th critical habit: indulging in long, hot showers daily. I can almost anticipate the collective resistance to this particular recommendation, as the allure of a steamy, prolonged hot shower is undeniable, a cherished ritual for many. However, I urge you to remain receptive, as the underlying scientific rationale is genuinely captivating, and once you fully comprehend the intricate processes occurring within your skin and circulatory system after the age of 65, your perspective on your daily shower routine will be irrevocably altered. As we advance in years, our skin's natural oil production significantly declines. The sebaceous glands, responsible for these protective lipids, slow their activity. Consequently, the delicate skin barrier thins, becoming far more fragile and susceptible to damage, and its intrinsic ability to retain moisture plummets dramatically. Hot water, particularly when exposure is prolonged, aggressively strips away the already diminished lipid barrier of the skin, leading to a phenomenon known as transepidermal water loss. In simpler terms, it paradoxically dries your skin from the inside out, compromising its integrity. A compelling study conducted by dermatologists at the prestigious Johns Hopkins University underscored these concerns. Their research revealed that adults over 65 who engaged in daily hot showers exceeding 10 minutes exhibited a staggering 52% higher incidence of chronic dry skin conditions. Beyond mere dryness, these individuals displayed increased inflammatory skin responses and, critically, a measurably weakened immune barrier within the skin itself, making them more vulnerable to external pathogens. Yet, the implications extend far beyond dermatological concerns, becoming particularly pertinent for seniors regarding cardiovascular health. Hot showers cause a rapid and significant dilation of blood vessels, which in turn leads to an abrupt drop in blood pressure. After the age of 70, your cardiovascular system's capacity to quickly and effectively compensate for these sudden changes in pressure is considerably diminished. This impaired regulatory response is, in fact, one of the leading yet most underreported causes of dizziness, lightheadedness, and subsequent falls in the bathroom among the senior population. Statistically, the bathroom is recognized as the most hazardous room in the home for adults over 65, and the temperature of shower water is a clandestine yet potent contributing factor to this danger. The solution, it must be emphasized, is not to cease showering entirely, as proper hygiene remains paramount. Rather, it involves a conscious adjustment, lowering the water temperature to warm rather than overtly hot. It also means limiting shower durations to 8 minutes or less. Crucially, immediately after exiting the shower, while your skin is still slightly damp, apply a high-quality, ceramide-rich moisturizer. Ceramides are vital lipids that help restore the skin's natural barrier, effectively locking in moisture and preventing further transepidermal water loss. For an added circulatory benefit, consider concluding your shower with a brief 30-second burst of cool water. This practice, known as contrast hydrotherapy, has been scientifically shown in research from the University of Oregon to improve vascular tone, the elasticity and responsiveness of your blood vessels, and to significantly reduce next-day fatigue in older adults, offering a refreshing and invigorating boost. The fifth critical habit: sidestepping resistance training due to joint pain. This particular misconception stands as one of the most perilous and pervasive myths I encounter daily in my medical practice. A myth that is tragically costing countless seniors years, if not decades, of invaluable functional independence. The notion that if your knees ache or your hips protest, the logical course of action is to rest, retreat from physical exertion, and avoid exercise seems intuitively sound on the surface. However, the unequivocal body of scientific evidence tells a dramatically different and far more empowering story. Your muscles and bones are not isolated entities. They exist in a dynamic, interdependent partnership. When muscles weaken, a common consequence of inactivity, they do not alleviate stress on joints. Rather, they paradoxically place more stress on them as the supportive muscular framework diminishes. Actively avoiding resistance training after the age of 65 is a direct accelerator of sarcopenia, the inexorable age-related loss of muscle mass and strength. Consider the alarming statistics. After the age of 70, the human body, in the absence of consistent, active resistance training, can lose up to 3% of its muscle mass annually. By the time many sedentary seniors reach 80, they may have tragically forfeited 30 to 40% of the muscle mass they possessed at age 50. This isn't merely a concern about aesthetics or physical appearance. This robust muscle mass is the very foundation that keeps you upright, providing stability and balance, acting as your primary defense against debilitating falls. It is what sustains a healthy metabolism, helping to regulate blood sugar and energy levels. Furthermore, muscle contraction places essential stress on bones, which in turn stimulates osteoblast activity, maintaining bone density and protecting against osteoporosis. A groundbreaking study conducted at Tufts University profoundly challenged conventional wisdom regarding exercise and aging joints. This research followed a cohort of adults ranging from 72 to 98 years old who consistently engaged in twice-weekly progressive resistance training sessions. The results were nothing short of astonishing. After just 10 weeks, participants demonstrated an average 113% increase in strength. Crucially, they also exhibited significantly improved balance, faster walking speeds, and in numerous cases, a reduction in joint pain rather than an increase. The researchers definitively concluded that frailty itself, not chronological age, was the primary impediment, and critically, that frailty is a largely reversible condition. I vividly recall Harold, an 81-year-old gentleman from Baton Rouge, Louisiana. Harold arrived in my office profoundly disheartened. utterly convinced his body was in irreversible decline. He had long abandoned walking more than a single block due to persistent, debilitating knee pain. We initiated a conservative, chair-based resistance program for him, utilizing simple, light resistance bands, engaging for just 20 minutes per session twice a week. 4 months later, Harold was not only walking a mile every morning, but doing so with a newfound spring in his step and a radiant sense of liberation. He shared with me that he hadn't felt that physically free and unburdened in 15 years. The pathway to similar transformation is to begin gently. Start with seated resistance exercises, employing light resistance bands, or even just your own body weight. Concentrate on activating large muscle groups, your thighs, glutes, and back muscles, which are fundamental for functional movement. A potent synergy tip here is to time your protein intake. Consume your protein-rich meal or shake within 30 minutes after completing your resistance training session. This immediate post-exercise window is when your muscles are most highly receptive to amino acids, initiating rapid repair and growth. For seniors specifically, who often contend with anabolic resistance, this precise timing is not merely optional. It is an absolutely essential component for maximizing muscular benefits and preserving crucial muscle mass. The fourth critical habit, relying solely on reading glasses and neglecting vision training. Here is a seldom discussed truth that most ophthalmologists and optometrists might not explicitly communicate. Vision, much like muscle, possesses a remarkable capacity to respond positively to consistent training and focused effort. The delicate lens of the eye and the intricate ciliary muscles that control its shape and focusing ability naturally weaken with advancing age. This physiological change leads to a condition medically termed presbyopia, which is simply the clinical designation for age-related near vision loss. The prevalent societal response to presbyopia is often one of passive acceptance. Individuals simply acquire progressively stronger reading glasses, erroneously assuming that this visual decline is an inevitable and irreversible consequence of aging. However, the ciliary muscles, despite their minuteness, are fundamentally still muscles, and like any muscle group, they can be trained and supported. Groundbreaking research published in the prestigious journal Scientific Reports, conducted by an innovative team at the University of California, Riverside, presented compelling evidence. Their study found that merely 30 minutes of daily near-far focusing exercises, coupled with an adequate dietary intake of the crucial carotenoids lutein and zeaxanthin, resulted in measurable and significant improvements in reading speed and overall visual clarity in adults over 60, all within a matter of weeks. While this vision training may not entirely negate the need for corrective lenses, it can dramatically decelerate the progression of presbyopia and substantially reduce your long-term dependency on increasingly strong glasses. Beyond the lens and its controlling muscles, the brain's sophisticated visual processing centers also experience a deceleration with age. After 70, for instance, your contrast sensitivity, that is, your crucial ability to discern objects from their backgrounds, especially in environments with low light, can diminish by up to 27%. This reduction in contrast sensitivity is not just an inconvenience. It stands as one of the primary, yet often overlooked, reasons why falls frequently occur in dimly lit settings, as the brain struggles to accurately interpret visual cues. Therefore, comprehensive vision care extends beyond simple correction. Actively training your eyes with daily focusing exercises, ensuring an optimal dietary intake of essential micronutrients like zinc and vitamin A, both pivotal for ocular health, and strategically optimizing the lighting within your home environment are all evidence-based, highly effective strategies that, lamentably, most seniors are simply never provided. This represents a significant gap in conventional senior healthcare, a gap that we aim to bridge. This juncture offers a perfect opportunity to pause and reflect. If the information shared on this channel has ever provided you with insights or guidance your primary doctor might have overlooked, I sincerely ask you to take a brief moment right now to hit that subscribe button and leave a like on this video. Your simple act of engagement genuinely amplifies our reach, enabling us to connect with more seniors who desperately need access to this vital, often life-changing information. It costs you absolutely nothing, yet its impact is profound. The third critical habit, routinely sleeping more than 9 hours or relying on sleep aids. This particular revelation frequently surprises individuals, as the pervasive message is that sleep is healing, an assertion that is undeniably true. However, the intricate relationship between sleep quality, sleep duration, and the aging process is far more nuanced and complex than commonly understood. Misinterpreting this delicate balance is quietly, yet devastatingly, compromising the brain health of millions of seniors worldwide. A colossal study emanating from Harvard Medical School, which tracked over 14,000 adults over an extensive 8-year period, unveiled a startling correlation. Seniors who consistently slept for more than 9 hours per night exhibited a 46% higher risk of experiencing cognitive decline compared to those who maintained a sleep duration between 7 and 8 hours. It is crucial to clarify that this elevated risk is not because sleep itself is inherently detrimental when prolonged. Rather, chronically extended sleep often serves as a symptomatic indicator of profoundly poor sleep quality, not genuinely restorative rest. This compromised sleep quality, characterized by fragmented sleep cycles, significantly reduced periods of deep sleep, and insufficient REM, rapid eye movement, sleep, fails to adequately facilitate the clearance of metabolic waste products that naturally accumulate in the brain throughout the day. The brain possesses an intrinsic, highly sophisticated cleaning system known as the glymphatic system. Envision it as a dedicated nighttime sanitation crew, meticulously washing through the brain's interstitial spaces, diligently removing cellular debris, including beta amyloid plaques, protein aggregates strongly associated with the progression of Alzheimer's disease. Crucially, the glymphatic system operates with optimal efficiency primarily during the deeper stages of sleep, and its activity is most pronounced during the first 6 to 7 hours of rest. Consequently, spending 9 or 10 hours in bed often translates to prolonged periods of fragmented, shallow sleep, which, regrettably, provides none of this absolutely critical neural cleansing. The picture darkens further when considering the regular use of sleep aids, particularly common over-the-counter products that are antihistamine-based, like diphenhydramine. The research surrounding these medications is frankly alarming. A significant study published in JAMA Internal Medicine established a robust correlation between the consistent use of anticholinergic sleep aids and a substantially increased risk of dementia in older adults. These medications, by their very nature, readily cross the delicate blood-brain barrier. Once within the brain, they interfere with the production and action of acetylcholine, which is a pivotal neurotransmitter absolutely essential for optimal memory formation, learning, and overall cognitive function. With repeated and prolonged use, these chemical interventions can induce lasting adverse changes in brain chemistry, exacerbating cognitive decline rather than alleviating it. I vividly remember Dorothy, a 78-year-old patient from Portland, Oregon. Dorothy was sleeping 10 hours a night, yet consistently woke up feeling utterly exhausted and unrested. She had been taking a commonly prescribed sleep aid for 3 years. When we conducted cognitive assessments, her scores revealed a subtle yet persistent decline over time. Our intervention involved a careful, supervised weaning off the medication, the implementation of a strict 7-hour sleep window with consistent bedtimes and wake-up times, the introduction of magnesium glycinate before bed, and a comprehensive overhaul of her sleep hygiene practices. Within 4 months, her cognitive scores visibly improved, her energy levels surged, and she tearfully confided that the pervasive mental fog she had endured for years had finally begun to lift. If consistent, restorative sleep is a challenge for you, prioritize establishing consistent sleep and wake times every single day, even on weekends. Ensure your bedroom is cool, ideally between 65 and 67 degrees Fahrenheit. Implement a strict no screens rule for at least 60 minutes before bedtime, and consider a supplement of 200 to 400 milligrams of magnesium glycinate taken approximately 30 minutes before sleep. For an enhanced, natural synergy that supports GABA, the brain's primary calming neurotransmitter, without dangerous side effects, pair this with a soothing cup of chamomile or passion flower tea. The second critical habit: consuming less water because you feel less thirsty. This particular oversight may very well represent the most overlooked and critically underestimated health crisis currently affecting seniors globally. Its insidious nature lies precisely in its invisibility. You simply do not perceive it happening, making its consequences all the more dangerous. Let's explore the underlying biology. As we age, the hypothalamus, that small but mighty region deep within the brain responsible for orchestrating our thirst sensation and fluid balance, becomes progressively less sensitive to changes in hydration status. By the age of 70, a significant proportion of adults experience a markedly blunted thirst response. This means you can be in a state of clinical dehydration, your body desperately needing water, yet feel entirely normal, exhibiting no conscious sensation of thirst. Your body is simply no longer reliably transmitting the crucial warning signals it once did with precision in your younger years. A sobering study published in the European Journal of Clinical Nutrition illuminated this crisis, finding that an alarming 40% of community-dwelling seniors over the age of 70 are in a state of chronic, mild dehydration, and critically, are entirely unaware of their compromised fluid status. One might understandably question whether mild, chronic dehydration truly carries such significant implications. The answer is unequivocally devastating. Even mild chronic dehydration in seniors is directly linked to a substantial 30% increase in the incidence of urinary tract infections, UTIs, which are, distressingly, a leading cause of sudden cognitive decline, delirium, and subsequent hospitalization among the elderly. Beyond UTIs, inadequate hydration significantly elevates the risk of painful kidney stones, exacerbates chronic constipation, and can lead to dangerously concentrated levels of medications in the bloodstream. This is because many commonly prescribed pharmaceuticals are water-soluble and critically rely on adequate hydration to maintain their proper therapeutic blood levels, preventing both ineffectiveness and potential toxicity. Furthermore, dehydration directly and demonstrably impairs cognitive function. Research conducted at King's College London revealed that even a seemingly minor 1 to 2% dehydration, a level you absolutely cannot perceive as thirst, can measurably diminish short-term memory, impair concentration, and slow reaction time in older adults. Every major system of the body is compromised: the skin's elasticity, the cushioning in your joints, the crucial discs between your vertebrae, and the vital moisture in your eyes. All of them depend intimately on adequate hydration to function correctly and maintain their integrity. After 75, your kidney's inherent ability to concentrate urine declines significantly, meaning you excrete a greater volume of water relative to your intake, thus requiring more water than you instinctively believe to maintain a healthy internal balance. The optimal hydration target for most seniors is a minimum of 6 to 8 cups of water daily, consumed steadily and consistently throughout the day, rather than in large, infrequent gulps that the body struggles to absorb efficiently. A highly practical and effective method is to consistently keep a 32-ounce water bottle visible and within easy reach at all times. Make a conscious commitment to finishing and refilling this bottle twice by the end of each day. To further enhance cellular absorption and ensure electrolyte balance, consider adding a small pinch of Himalayan pink salt, or a sugar-free electrolyte supplement to 1 glass of water daily. Complement this fluid intake with a generous consumption of hydrating foods, particularly cucumbers, watermelon, and leafy greens. These foods are rich in structured water, which is bound within cellular matrices and is often absorbed more efficiently by the body than plain water alone, providing a sustained and balanced form of hydration. The number one critical habit: sitting within 30 minutes of waking up. And now, the moment I promised you, the single most pervasive habit that almost every senior unknowingly engages in every single morning, a routine that is insidiously eroding their health, diminishing their cognitive vitality, and silently stealing their independence. That habit, surprisingly, is the act of sitting down within 30 minutes of waking up. I fully anticipate your astonishment, as this is profoundly counterintuitive to widely accepted morning rituals. However, the scientific evidence supporting this revelation is genuinely remarkable and profoundly compelling. The human body is exquisitely designed with an intrinsic physiological phenomenon known as the cortisol awakening response, CAR. In the first 30 to 45 minutes immediately after waking, cortisol, your body's primary stress and alertness hormone, naturally surges, increasing by a remarkable 50% to 100% above its baseline levels. This is your body's innate biological alarm clock, a sophisticated system that primes your cardiovascular system, invigorates your brain, and prepares your muscles for the physical and mental demands of the day ahead. For seniors, this early morning window represents one of the most powerful and critical biological events of the entire day, a foundational period that dictates much of your daily physiological state. When you immediately sit down after waking, whether in a comfortable chair with your morning coffee, at the breakfast table, or settling onto the couch with the television, you inadvertently send a powerful, detrimental signal to your body that the day's physical demands are already concluded, that no engagement is required. Research from the University of Queensland, meticulously published in the British Journal of Sports Medicine, critically examined the activity patterns of over 5,000 adults aged 65 and older. Their findings were stark. Those who exhibited sedentary behavior in the first hour after waking had significantly higher rates of metabolic syndrome, a greater incidence of cardiovascular events, and a more pronounced cognitive decline over a 5-year follow-up period. Crucially, these negative outcomes were independent of how much physical activity these individuals engaged in later in the day. The damage was done early. But the deeper, more intricate mechanism that renders this habit particularly critical for aging bodies revolves around cortisol itself. During this morning surge, cortisol paradoxically acts as an anti-inflammatory agent. It actively suppresses joint stiffness, systematically clears the residual, sleep-related inflammation that accumulates in your tissues overnight, and optimally primes your muscles for subsequent engagement. When you remain seated and still throughout this crucial window, the cortisol, having surged, has nowhere to go. It circulates without effectively serving its designed purpose. Chronically misused or improperly utilized cortisol is directly implicated in a cascade of negative health consequences, including increased visceral fat accumulation, the dangerous fat around your organs, accelerated bone density loss, and a compromised immune function, rendering you more susceptible to illness. Furthermore, this 30 to 45 minute post-waking window is when your muscles are most acutely sensitive to movement-induced signals for growth and repair. Transformative research from MRI University in the Netherlands demonstrated that even light physical activity immediately after waking significantly increased muscle protein synthesis rates throughout the entire day in adults over 65. This remarkable effect was observed even when the morning movement was gentle, brief, and seemingly minimal. We are not advocating for strenuous workouts right after rising. We are discussing a simple 10-minute slow walk, some gentle stretching, standing exercises, or any form of light, intentional movement that gently rouses the body precisely as it was biologically designed to be woken. Let me share the inspiring story of Robert, a 77-year-old from Nashville, Tennessee. Robert had been retired for 12 years and had settled into a deeply ingrained, almost ritualistic morning routine. Wake up, pour coffee, immediately sit in his recliner, watch the morning news for an hour, and then eventually eat breakfast. He consistently reported feeling devoid of energy. His joints ached every morning for the first 2 hours of the day, and he felt a persistent mental fogginess that wouldn't lift until early afternoon. His blood work revealed elevated inflammatory markers concerning pre-diabetic glucose levels and testosterone levels significantly below what was healthy for his age. We made one singular change, just one, to his decades-long routine. For 21 consecutive days, Robert committed to a mere 10-minute walk outside, undertaken within 15 minutes of waking, before the coffee, before the recliner, before the television. After this brief period of movement, he would return, have his breakfast, enjoy his coffee, and proceed with his day as he wished. Within 3 weeks, Robert called my office, and his words remain etched in my memory. "Dr. Scott," he exclaimed, "I feel like someone turned a light back on inside me." His morning joint stiffness had dramatically reduced, his midday energy had surged, and his fasting glucose levels had visibly dropped. One simple change, 10 minutes of movement, consistently for 21 days, had initiated a profound revitalization. The ultimate synergy pairing for this vital habit is the incorporation of natural light. The very moment you step outside or even stand at a brightly lit window during that crucial morning movement, you trigger a powerful serotonin release. This release is perfectly timed to synchronize with your cortisol awakening response, acting as a profound biological amplifier. This potent combination of morning movement and morning light effectively calibrates your circadian rhythm for the entire day, significantly enhancing nighttime melatonin production, essential for restorative sleep, stabilizing your mood, and has been consistently shown in multiple robust studies to considerably reduce the risk of seasonal depression in older adults. Morning movement combined with morning light represents one of the most powerful, entirely free, and side effect-free interventions available in the entire field of longevity medicine, yet it remains largely undiscussed and underutilized. All references to the scientific studies mentioned today are meticulously linked in the description below, and I strongly encourage you to delve into them and explore the evidence firsthand. Now, allow me to anchor these insights firmly in the context of your own life, because this conversation transcends mere biology and statistics. This is fundamentally about your life, about the quality and vibrancy of the decades that lie ahead. This is about making a conscious choice. Whether you will spend your senior years passively observing life unfold from the confines of a chair, or whether you will actively participate, remaining present, capable, independent, and genuinely alive in every room you enter, in every moment you experience. I have personally witnessed patients in their late 80s achieve astonishing reversals of conditions that their previous medical providers had unequivocally declared to be permanent. I have seen individuals who could barely manage to walk across a modest parking lot transform into daily, enthusiastic walkers within a matter of months. I have witnessed cognitive clarity return with profound beauty to people who had begun to experience genuine fear and confusion regarding their own minds. And in every single one of these extraordinary cases, the pivotal turning point was not a new medication, not a complex surgical intervention, and certainly not some mystical miracle cure. It was information, the right information delivered at the right time, and most importantly, applied consistently and with unwavering dedication. You are now in possession of that critical information. 7 specific habits requiring simple adjustments that incur no financial cost, demand no prescription, and can be initiated immediately today. Your incredible body is not betraying you. It is, quite simply, responding with exquisite precision to the inputs and signals it is given. Change those inputs, make these conscious adjustments, and I assure you, you will be utterly amazed at the enduring capacity, resilience, and potential for flourishing that this incredible human body of yours still possesses. If this video, this message, has resonated with you, if something shared here has profoundly connected with where you are in your life's journey right now, I implore you to share it widely with someone you deeply care about, someone who absolutely needs to hear this empowering message. And if you have not yet joined our growing community, this is your heartfelt invitation. We meticulously publish new, research-backed content every single week, specifically curated and designed for adults over 60 who resolutely refuse to accept that decline is an inevitable, predetermined fate, because it absolutely is not. Subscribe, activate that notification bell, and become an integral part of a community of individuals who are actively choosing to live fully, vibrantly, and independently at every single age. And now, I eagerly await your thoughts in the comments below. Please tell me, which of these 7 transformative habits are you going to prioritize and begin working on first? And what is one significant change you have already implemented in your senior years that has truly made a tangible, positive difference in your life? I commit to reading every single response, and your unique story might very well be the spark that ignites the inspiration for our next video. Take profound care of yourself. I look forward to seeing you in the next installment.